Hello, everyone. How y'all doing today? I'm Krishonda Brooks. I'm the owner, one of the owners of Our Kids is Our Future Corporation. It's a nonprofit organization for youth advocates. What we do here is try to support our youth, not just our youth, more families also, because it starts at home. In order for us to help our youth, we have to target the problem. We have to assist where it is needed to be assist. And being a mom, being a father, if you have kids, in today's world, it's kind of hard. It's very hard. Nobody can raise their child alone. They have to go to school, they have to go to after school activities. It's just so much that, our children have to do in today's society that we can't be in every place at one time to make sure they're on the straight and narrow path. So with that being said, that's where our voice comes in, to where it takes a village. It takes the whole village. In order for us to raise these kids, to take all of us putting our mind, putting our hearts, putting everything we got towards it, and seeking a better future. One thing is, I know we all have stories, I know we all have voices, but now is the time to let our voices be heard. So, during this podcast episode today, not only do I just want to talk, but I also have a guest that I'll be bringing in. It's a parent. She's just going to share a little bit of her story. She's just going to let us know how she feel right now. Give us a little bit of background on what she's going through. I want to be the first person to say, hey, someone's reaching out for help. And they is. There's many parents out here that has reached out for help and wasn't able to get the help that they needed at that time. I'm really against it. They took away boot camp. Military school is so expensive now. So where does that leave us for the group of kids that's getting in trouble or acting out, and their parents just don't have the time of day to maintain or just assist with it? So that's where our community come in at. I sent my son through so many programs, different youth centers, and just to be let down at the end, it's kind of hard. It's hurtful. Is We don't understand, but now it's the time to say enough is enough. So, Our Kids is Our Future Corporation is here to start giving out a lending hand to those parents and those kids that is just missing something. And I'm here to listen. So, I would like for you guys to ask as many questions you have to ask, share your opinions, share your thoughts, type in your comments, your question, and I'm gonna try to help answer those as best as I can. So for right now, I just look at today, watching the news nowadays, with the gun violence. The gun violence has to stop. Like, even at home, on the streets, I'm not gonna say there's no perfect parents. Don't get me wrong, nobody's perfect. And I know sometimes we raise our kids the best way we can, and they still turn straight to the streets or the life that we didn't prepare them for. But let's try to see what's the problem, what makes it so interesting. On my part of it, I feel like it's the industry. I'm not blaming the rap industry because it's not all on them, but it has to start somewhere. Our kids listen to rap music. I sat in the car and listened to a couple rap songs that they listen to, and it's very provocative. Like, you making it seem like this way of living is enticing, is exciting, is something to. It's not. It's not nothing to worship. You know, Hands up, guns down. That's a big thing with us because our youth have the guns. Our kids have the guns. Like, what is it? How does it make you feel for a 14 or a 15-year-old to walk past you and they got a pistol on their waist or got one in their bag or just have one, period? They're 14, 15. They still have their whole life ahead of them. And I'm not going to say it's just the parents, because once our kids leave out our sight, we don't have access to making sure that they don't hold one or carry one. It's not just, them, it's the people that they hang around or the people that they look up to. Gonna be blunt about the situation. I have a 17-year-old son that's currently in Forsyth prison serving a bid of 20 years. And that's because he chose to run away from home and seek the wrong crowd. He wasn't always that child. Once we lost my mom in 2019, kind of took a toll over him. And we went to the youth center, the At Promise, center that they built, but it didn't target exactly what these kids go through nowadays. I'm not blaming nobody, but being the fact that I was living on the west side of Atlanta and was a parent that was asking for help and got denied every time, or a parent that seeked out to some people that I know all it would have took was for a phone call to say, hey, well, can we do such and such to help improve this situation, but didn't get that help. And that also makes a lot of parents not want to ask for help, being known that you'll be turned down. Who want to be turned away when we're asking for help to save our kids' life? Nobody. So I do understand that part. And, a lot of these centers and a lot of these different organizations, it's all about the funding. But once you get that funding and you do what you say you're going to do, what does the number look like? So, with all the youth centers and with all the nonprofit organizations that's out here, how many of you can say you honestly had a big change in numbers? How many kids' life in those numbers can you say, hey, we changed their life around? Like, what's the number? What's the status of that? Because the more I look at the news and the more I look at TV, the more I see is the numbers are falling. And that's not good, because our future right now is heading nowhere. Not for the best of us anyway. So, but it's time for a change. I know it's hard. I know it's gonna be hard. And I mean, that even goes for the adults that's walking the streets nowadays. If you walk in the street, and I know a lot of you not gonna do it because it's a safety precautions. You don't want to say something to this child because then they might turn around and pull the pistol. But tell somebody, help them, help them out because they need it. One thing I do know is these kids don't know exactly what they doing with these guns. But once they have it and they shoot and they take a life, there is no second chances for them. Not only was their life lost, but there's two life lost, because now you're gonna be a product of the jail system for however many years that they sentence you for. And then you have all these street codes. So that's what I want to talk about too. The street codes. What is it with the street codes that make any individual feel like it's okay to teach this child this? The no snitching, the gangs, like all of this is old. It's getting real old and it's not changing and it's not helping anybody. I feel like, I watch a lot of different podcasts. I watched a lot of people with the interviews. I listen to them. I listen to them very clear. I heard one today that was saying, well, he wasn't a game banger in the first place. He didn't live this life. And you're right. He wasn't a game banger. So why would someone else ruin that person's life? Do something different. You wouldn't have to worry about him being a game banger if the person that's in charge of the game banger would do something positive. Go feed the homeless. Go clean up the neighborhood. Go help a lady at the grocery store. Go feed someone that couldn't feed themselves. Go pay a light bill. Why does gang banging have to result in violence or all of the wrong advices? If you're gonna use it, because I know it's not gonna never go away. I know gang banging. I know all of this stuff. It's gonna always be here past our time. So let's change the structure of that. So instead of telling the child, well, hey, in order to get in this game, you got to go beat such and such up. No. In order for you to get in this game, hey, you got to go with us 6 hours out of the week and feed the homeless. Or we group up and we take ties and we take funding to help feed this group of kids, or just do something positive. It's not enough positive people out here, but it's a lot of people out here. So, you know, it's not a one group of people that has to change the mind frame. It's this world as a whole that has to change. That goes from the music industry, the social media industry, that goes for the schools, the youth centers, the all the famous people in the world that somebody else look up to. Can you say in the last 10 days you've done something to change somebody's life around? Or a child? Or can you say your last 3 songs was encouraging? Or can you say, anything positive will work. So, you know, with that being said, our kids won't have a future without us. It starts with us. I remember grandparents used to take the kids to church every Sunday. Whoop them. Nowadays, if you whoop your kids, you go to jail. So parents don't even want to whoop their children. But what disciplinary action do you leave us as parents? Because taking the cell phone don't do it. Taking the games don't do it. Keeping them in the house don't do it, because you gotta go to work. Ain't nobody gonna be in the house with most of the kids 24 hours of the day. So by them not being in the house 24 hours of the day there, how would you know they even stayed in the house? So and a lot of times it's just sitting down talking to your kids, having a real conversation with them, trying to find out what is it about this group of people that makes you so attached and you can't listen to what I say. Because I know most parents out here in this world, the number one thing they want their child to do is to live. Nobody want a phone call to say, hey, it's been an accident, especially not upon our youth. And to find out that another youth did it, where did it leave us? So, it's a lot that goes on. It's challenging, it's hard, but I do know a lot of parents feel like they're not getting the results. So, by you not having that results, how do you really feel? How do you really feel? So, where I stand today is that I ask everybody pitch in to help. We really need everybody to pitch in and help with this situation. I'm not gonna lie, but our kids doing what a lot of kids do nowadays. You got more teen pregnancies, you got more kids running away from home, you got kids that run away from home and go stay at another person's house, and that person won't even call that child parents and say, well, hey, he here. Or will tell that child, hey, what you doing is wrong, go home to your mom. That's just some of the small things that we can do to make a change. That's just some of the little steps that we can say, hey, we did to make a change in our youth future. Because that's what we need. It's very hard for one person to raise one child. So it's not going to be a one person effort. One person cannot do it. It takes more. So, what is there that we could do to help your voice to be heard? This is not just for basic people. I kind of want everyone to tune in. The music industry, everybody tune in and just really ask yourself, do you think what you're doing or the message that you're putting out there, or is that a positive influence that our kids today need? Because it's serious, like, and it's getting worse. It's not getting no better. I was a mother that seeked help. I asked people. I went around. I put them in different programs, all the ones that they had to offer. I did everything but put them on some medicine. I just don't agree with it because mentally, there's not a real reason to put medicine on your child if it's not a medical reason. So, with that being said, I just want to know some opinions. Anybody opinion, anybody voice, you know, just let me know what you feel or what you think about the situation or what you'll think that'll help change it. Give us a better outcome. I do feel like more people need to stand up and let their voice be heard, even though you're turned away many times. Trust me, I know. You're going to be turned away. You might be hung up on. You might be turned away. You could go speak to somebody face to face and they just might flat out say no. But do you give up? But we preach to our kids and tell them, don't give up. One thing I do know and have learned is we're our kids' first teacher. They learn from us. I wish we could go back to the older days to where we had, how our elders raised us. We had so much discipline. We were scared of our parents. If we was to get a whooping, oh, the last thing you better ever say is, "Oh, I'm gonna call 911." You can't do, you can't do kids like that no more. They just don't have that fear in them. It's like more parents grow up try to be their kid's friend than trying to actually be their parent. They have many, many, many friends. Trust and believe me. But what they lack and miss is their actual parents. So we got to start this change somewhere. It has to start somewhere. So with that being said, we're gonna jump on to our next topic. So our next topic, what I want to know is, how do you feel as far as school? School not is just not what it used to be. For one, they don't have no books. Everything is done with technology. If they don't read, they don't expand their mind. If their mind don't expand, then they're not growing. Now, one thing I have learned is that reading do help improve your brain functions, give you a better speech, teach you words you don't know, give you a knowledge of being able to say words and present them and understand them. Signature. Kids don't even know how to sign their own signature. Why was that taken out of school? I just feel like schools should teach our kids more of what they need in society today versus teaching what happened many, 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 many years ago. Unfortunately, if you don't want to teach, then maybe it's time for you to find a new job because These children need to really learn. It's just so much. It's so much. So, with that being said, I just ask that everyone just speak up. Let your voice be heard. Let someone hear you. I think it's time for our leaders, as far as state representatives. I love our mayor of Atlanta, you know, but targeting the actual problem with our youth today might give us a better chance at saving their future. They don't need the next person come in their life and tell them something and it don't go that way, because they binge out on that anger. They really do. And as much as they might say they okay and they alright, they're not, because they done been let down. So it's time for a change. And I keep preaching this and I keep saying it. And I talk to many, many, many people. Like, it's literally time for a change. But when will that change happen? I know there are a lot of parents out here that's wishing they could say, well, hey, we need help. But they won't ask for it because what is there to really help? I could send them to this youth center today. What change would I get out of this youth center? But sometimes the problem just don't start with the child. The problem starts at home. So in order for us to help that child, we have to be willing to open up to that child's home and find out exactly what's the problem. That means engaging with the siblings, engaging with the parents, the aunts, the grandmothers. Talk to them. See what happened. See what can you help do. Just talk to them. So our kids, our future, have a few things we'll be doing soon. One is feed the homeless. I've really reached that. I've post flyers. I've post my number. I have not had nothing but 2 phone calls to offer to help the homeless. But it's okay, because my agenda to do this was for us to do this from our heart and to gather some kids up to go out there with us to feed the homeless, talk to them, engage with them, see how they got there. Because most of them today, where they're headed at, they'll be part of that too. But we have the power to change that. Not us alone, but us as a whole have the power to change that for our youth. Instead of trying to open up this organization or this organization and you do your own thing and you do your own thing, then let's put all our ideas and our creativity together as a whole and be able to open up and help more children. Because we could target Decatur, Stockbridge. You could target that one community, but you still have 12, 13, 14 more communities that's in the same thing. With our nonprofit, I want to bring people in, but what I don't want is for someone to come in and say, well, hey, we can only stick with this one county or this one area. You can't tell me that I just met this child from Clayton County and I can't help him because I'm only stuck with helping kids from Atlanta. That's very unfair. Our ideal goal is anywhere from 0 to 25. You're not really an adult until you're 25, unfortunately. You can be grown, you could be done have 4, 5 kids, but you're not really an adult until you turn 25. So our goal is to help any way we can from 0 to 25. I won't just be talking to the kids. We will be talking to the family. Anybody that lives in that home, we have our hand out to help. We'll be going around passing out surveys to different communities just to see what will be a great help. Because I really want to find out what is it. You know, I'll be also doing a couple other activities coming up soon. And I just ask y'all stay tuned. Listen out because it gets better from here. It really do. I thank y'all for tuning in today. This is it for Think Big TV episode. I ask you guys to keep following us and tag along because everybody's voice is heard and nobody's gone unknown. And I know for sure. With that being said, I thank y'all and y'all have a blessed day.